Hello, and welcome to another episode of Brettcast Movies and TV Talk. Back in the, mid-2000s, there was a movie that came out that was really the first, at the time, good superhero movie, and that was the first X-Men movie. Now, a bunch of years later, I can't count how many movies later, this goddamn franchise is still going. And holy crap, do I hate it. Now, I don't hate all of it. The first X-Men movie is okay, and my favorite of them all is Logan. That is the only X-Men and Wolverine movie that I can really enjoy and watched like 3 times when it came out on DVD because I couldn't bring myself to give these movies theater ticket money. So, why do I hate these movies? As I said, the first X-Men movie is pretty decent that I would watch it more than once, and I have. X-Men 2 is not that great. It didn't do much as a sequel to an okay movie. My problem is that X-Men 3 is also a pretty bad movie, and it's only, there because power, CGI, and let's throw everything we can into the movie because it's the big conclusion to a trilogy that was really just a mess. We all wanted a big fight with Magneto in it, but he just loses his powers since they shot him full of those no more power darts. How anticlimactic is that? But the whole thing is because of Days of Future Past. Not a damn thing in these movies actually matter. So Days of Future Past goes back in time and they do a bunch of stuff that makes the original trilogy of movies not matter. You spent all that time and effort on those 3 movies to make another movie that makes those 3 movies not important at all. And at the end of Days of Future Past, we split into a new timeline where those original 3 movies never happened. How many times do I have to tell you this until you realize how goddamn stupid this whole idea was and how stupid this whole movie is? Not to mention that part of the movie is after X-Men 3. Part of the movie is between Wolverine Origins movie and the first X-Men movie, and that really just complicates everything. The Wolverine Origin movie is okay with the exception that they messed up Deadpool, but by now everyone knows this. Now there's another movie called The Wolverine that's supposed to be after X-Men 3, and damn is that a bad movie. Clearly this movie is Wolverine goes to Japan, fights the robot samurai for no reason. I love mecha stuff, but this just seemed like the most random villain for Wolverine to fight. It was there because, you gotta have a CGI villain to fight at the end of the movie. They could have picked a much better villain for Wolverine to fight at the end of the movie than a big CGI robot samurai guy. I'm sure there are plenty of Wolverine comic book characters to pick from, even though I don't read Wolverine or X-Men comics. Lastly, I'm going to talk about X-Men Apocalypse and the future of this god-awful franchise. So yeah, X-Men Apocalypse was the movie that came out before Logan did. At least I think so. I don't really keep track of these crap movies. So the thing is that the movie has Apocalypse right in the title. That's because Apocalypse is the big CGI villain they have to deal with, and one of the weakest villains I have seen in these crappy movies. Even Magneto was a better villain than Apocalypse was. Apocalypse is supposed to be the big bad guy. I mean, his name is Apocalypse, for crying out loud. His name is in the title of the movie, and yet Apocalypse is a bottle of weak sauce. This is supposed to be like the first movie in their new timeline that happens after Days of Future Past that made, the original 3 X-Men movies not matter at all. And they did a terrible job with it. So now the part where I talk about the future of the X-Men movies is here. Well, we have Dark Phoenix coming up, and please, can we just be done with this franchise? Please. Okay, look, Fox, we can compromise. Make more movies like Logan and less movies like Days of Future Past and X-Men Apocalypse, and I would be happy. That's all I have to say, so if you want to add to the conversation, leave a comment below. As always, thanks for listening, and goodbye.